Actually, in my session, once I teach my students, so in every single session, whatever the topic I teach, whatever the content I teach, objective is to make them fluent. But that content itself is like a motivation. Entire session is a motivation. So that the students and myself as well maintain a momentum and motivation.
Yeah, when
That's
it
very
comes to teaching, I'm pretty sure what I want to do, how to go about it. But this online YouTube journey right now, that is what is making me second guess every step, every move that I'm taking because it's so unpredictable. So,
actually the YouTube has a very different algorithm, and
yes.
it requires very different approach. It requires, because the right now still we are thinking as a teacher, not as a YouTuber,
Mm-hmm.
not as a entrepreneur. And this is the
Right.
reason that we are not able to handle the real rejection from the YouTube,
Mm-hmm.
real rejection. And the retracement journey get started once you are thinking differently and strategically. That's very important. So yes, any topic you can decide, so we can discuss.
Okay.
Or you
You
can simply
suggest.
ask any kind of questions or anything you want to ask me.
All right. Mm. Okay. Since you mentioned that you motivate your students along with teaching, how important do you think a role, mental, perspective of a student plays in their learning?
Hello. Actually, your voice has broken in between, so I was not able to understand your question
All
fully.
right. I'll repeat. You have already talked about that you motivate your students in your sessions while you teach them. So motivation, in fact, it works wonders. I believe that because to have a mindset of learning, first of all, it is important before we even begin learning. And sometimes we get setbacks in our learning, and sometimes we progress by leaps and bounds. So both of these have different kinds of impact on students. So, according to you, when your students feel demotivated, what is the highest motivation factor that you provide to them? And what is that recharges them, motivates them to keep on continuing their learning journey, especially?
As far as I am concerned, the biggest motivation is that the outcome actually come later. Once you will
Mhm.
complete your English speaking journey and now you're able to speak fluently, then you will get something. But in the between of the journey, in the time of the journey, once you are not able to see your real tangible goals, tangible results, then it is very difficult to maintain that momentum. So make your journey is very, very funny, very interesting, very motivating. And at the same time, I always play, I have told you earlier, I think, the videos with the pictures, describing pictures, motivation code,
Mhm.
and how let them to describe this code, then try to teach that code. The video content in this way, where the a very small background people are, they are able to achieve greatness, how they are able to achieve greatness. And once you are consuming those kind content in English, then you are describing those kind of content. So that is vicariously you are a motivating students, and vicarious motivation along with the learning English actually maintain a momentum, and my students keep moving forward. And that is the key. Yes.
Mhm.
And most important key is that the small daily improvement over time leads to stunning result. That is the most important element. Yes.
Right. Once they are motivated, so it becomes easier to, walk on this path of learning. And what I have felt, when I take students, something that works beautifully in building up their fluency is one everyday practice of extempore sessions. So I usually give them unprepared speech topics that they have to speak on, but many times students are just not comfortable and they are not willing to step out of their comfort zone, and initially they just want to get the topic in advance and they want to practice and then speak. So what is your approach in taking extempore in classes to teach fluency?
Yes, yes. If the teaching fluency, it is very easy. It is very easy to speak fluent English. It's very easy, but it is very difficult to make other people to speak fluent English. Now, once you are just teaching this, so you must have this kind of mindset and different kind of activities. So that is keep them challenging to make sentences instantly. Now, for this, I have daily GD session of extempore GD session. So where I decide topic instantly once the people join the session. Now, this is the very important. But in once I teach a one-to-one session, so even those time as well, I have a extempore content. Extempore content. Once you are just thinking, so that is your brain is getting ready. Your brain is ready to understand the content, is ready to consume, absorb content firstly, and then it differently is able to how he can actually describe it, elaborate it, explain it. So you are thinking like a professor, where he has to speak, he has to do something differently. Now, what the problem is that once a simple conversational practice is why it is not useful after a certain extent. The reason is that in life, in real situation, you are not just going to get opportunity in this kind of situation. Once you are an employee and you have to give presentation, you have to deal in the business meeting, you have to close a deal, you have to sell something, you have to do something different, and that requires over state of learning. And this is the where they are not able to understand. This is my point.
I beg to differ here slightly, where I would like to reinstate this point that extempore actually helps in building contextual vocabulary, and in context to that vocabulary, it helps the student speak. And when it comes to real life situations, like you already mentioned, that in real life situations, we have to close the deal, we have to deal with the client and all. For that, we can incorporate role plays. But role plays will come only a bit at a later stage when the student starts feeling a little bit comfortable in at least forming sentences, in expressing. So, extempore can be dealt with by giving advanced context to build on vocabulary, but the topic can be given right on the spot. So, one approach is this, another is just blind spot, where nothing is known to the student and it becomes challenging. So, these are the two approaches. Now, another, yes, you want to say something?
Yes, if you want to say, continue.
Yes, one approach is this. Now, another challenge that I often see students, they feel very find it very difficult that they know the vocabulary, they know the grammar rules. When you teach them, they know everything, right? And if you give them written exercises to practice, they can do it very well. But when it comes to speaking, again, they start committing the mistakes that they never even anticipated. And in that terms, particularly, I have felt that the students, they face the challenge, one thing, because they start feeling diffident. Once it starts rolling, no, they commit one mistake, it becomes a loop. Their confidence goes down and they start making even more mistakes. So what becomes difficult for them is to find that confidence of speaking, of interacting in spite of making mistake, and to overcome the mistakes. So what's your take on this?
Yes, actually, it's a very challenge, and it's a challenging. So this challenge can get conquered only once students has itself mindset that he's ready to take this challenge. So firstly, if you're just committing mistake in a specific in any grammar point or anywhere, so you have to practice in the present indefinite. That sentence in new words. Take example of any word. And one word now you need to practice in the present indefinite, how you will use this word the more frequently in your daily routine. And because you do not have to change the tense, change the verb, simply as it is the verb you have to speak. So it's easy to get real confidence. So record, simple word is record. So I record daily YouTube videos. I record. Now this is the way he records. He records video. Now once you are just getting this kind of confidence, so he will start getting confidence. Try to make sentence very, very simple. I just always keep them to make sentence simple. Second thing, that the same words or the same context, how other people are framing sentences. And this is very important. The more you will listen, the contextual understanding from others. And I'm telling you, this is the most important element I have learned in my life. Even in my trading, I am also just teach people to trade, how to take trades, perfect trade. And why people are lose there? Because they are not able to see others, how others are doing. And it's all about the psychology. How American babies are learning English speaking. Why they are able to speak more fluently. Why than many of adult learners? The reason is that they are listening to others, how they are framing sentences. The more you will listen to others, the more contextual understanding, situational understanding, more fluency it will develop. Now I'm telling you, we might find a little bit of strength to you as well. And actually your fluency depends on your understanding. The more better you're able to understand, the more better you will be able to speak.
Right.
So
And I would like to add something here. It's not just about passive listening, but actively engaging in conversation. That is the most important.
actually, and that's why my concept is very clear, that once I just play a simple video, and once a video is playing, at the same time I'm asking him just to focus the how he's framing sentences and how he is using his ideas, how you can learn from him to frame sentences and ideas more clearly. Now once he has understood the entire video fully, the keywords, new words he's getting, so he can write. Now then try to speak the same video. So this is the moment that the video is challenging. He has to understand, he has to absorb information. Now he has to retrieve that information. And this is the way it is making the challenge. Now I have shared, I think last time, a video with you. And that video I have played with my all students. Watch the video and then you speak. Now this is the very important, that once you are listening this kind of motivational content, that is from somebody who is from a very simple background, he can become world youngest billionaire. Then why you cannot become fluent English speaker?
Right.
Why you cannot become fluent English speaker? And this is the way they get real motivation. And now if you watch the entire video, not only that kind of video, so focus the sentence formation. They are focusing only 2 or 3 key tenses. And this is the way these tenses and these vocabulary will make you more fluent English speaker.
Yes, that actually brings me on a very important issue, very pertinent issue here that I have noticed with especially Indian learners. They all just want to start speaking, fancy words, fancy idioms, advanced vocabulary. And often the students, they approach, I want to speak English like you, the advanced words, the idioms that you use in your conversations. So, but my approach is always like first begin with the basic level where what you are trying to say the other person is able to understand. Advanced vocabulary and idioms, that is just like the decoration. So if your foundation is not strong and you start decorating your house, so it doesn't work that way. So first you have to build on your strong foundation and then start adding those little tidbits, those decorative pieces, then you can start building on that part. So first you need to learn how to communicate and how to express yourself the way you want to. Many a times it's a challenge. They have some another thought in their mind, but when they open their mouth and they speak, they don't find the right words and the thought gets distorted and it doesn't communicate well enough to the listener. So this is the greatest challenge.
That's right.
So I think this basic communication building is of utmost importance first and then the advanced vocabulary. No?
Yes, that's right.
Right. Anything on your mind?
Yes, it's so basically that the once you are the teaching, phrase is very important. Once if you just focus on the any context, any topic, and you are how you are able to speak it more clearly, effectively. So there are certain some specific phrases that is actually helping you to organize your thoughts and ideas clearly. That is being designed in this fashion only. Now, if you will notice the IELTS trainer, they develop their answer in this way only. IELTS trainer. I have also taught lots of IELTS students.
Ready phrases. They have the
Yes,
ready
ready-made,
phrases which you can fit in as
yes,
pieces in your
ready-made
writing.
phrases. And ready-made phrases is a very nice way. Once you have ready-made
Right.
some phrases, so that is actually helping you to organize your thoughts and ideas clearly. And you are developing your fluency very nicely, very naturally. And that is also a way you can develop your students.
Right.
So I have lots of I just have made lots of fluency phrases, and that is developing your fluency instantly. And any kind of idioms or advanced vocabulary is actually making it your speaking more complicated. But the fluency phrases is making sentences more instantly, naturally.
Yes.
So this kind of
I
fluency phrases,
absolutely agree with you that the phrases, the ready phrases are more important to have in your conversations. So to practice them, it's more important to practice ready phrases that you can fit in rather than starting on idioms directly. And one more thing that I often advise, I'll give you an example. When we learn a word, we just sometimes, we just learn a word and we forget a new word. But it's important to learn it as a phrase, how to use in a sentence. So, like day before yesterday, I learned a word serendipity. Serendipity. So it means out of luck. So how to use it in a sentence? Out of serendipity. When so this whole phrase you have to learn. So he got the house just out of serendipity. So it's important that you do not just learn one word, but learn it along with the prepositions, along with the functional words that you can use in the sentences.
actually, if I show you my presentation of teaching, where I teach students, the very first line I just teach with my every single students. Very first line, learn a whole phrase, not individual word. And this is the very first line in my presentation and
Yes.
my teaching I teach students. Whole phrase. And once you have learned one word, so now you have a phrase, you have sentence, you are able to understand the context. Now you need to make your own sentences that is real for you. You can write and you can practice to speak this. This is the way you will get more confidence. Now you can listen to others, how other people are using. Now I have a website and I also use this website to teach my students. And I think that you know about this website. And the website name is Youglish. And that is a very nice website. Got idea. And this website is actually giving you real context, how other people are speaking. And the more you will listen, the more you will understand this concept, the more better you will speak. Now, you can take any example or whatever the example you're talking about, any word. And simply what you need to do is you need to just simple the like the here is. It's like website. And it's simply you have to put the word. Can you spell me, please, the word you are talking about?
Serendipity. Serendipity. Seren.
Yes,
S
Sarenditi.
E E S E elephant.
Yes,
REN.
Serdipity.
DI pity.
Right? Now let's listen.
DIPITY. Okay.
Spelling is some list.
Serendipity. PITY, no?
DI
DIPI.
right? BY,
DIP for pioneer. DIPITY.
right?
No, still spellings are incorrect.
Yes, can you spell Resentiti? This is right.
Serendipity. Remove that
This is,
ti after di.
I think this is the word, right?
Yes, serendipity. Pity.
Now let's listen how.
Yes.
Yes, how people, other people are using it.
Mediated information serendipity, because that would really engineer technologically mediated information serendipity, because that would
Is now let's the sort of
the serendipity of melancholy, of
the sort of serendipity, melancholy. Now you next sentence how
Out
other
of
people are using
serendipity.
as increasing
your surface area of serendipity.
increasing the surface area of serendipity, right? You know what I have learned. Thank you so much.
We stumbled into it through serendipity.
We stumbled through it. Now listen how she's using
Or valuable things by chance. We stumbled into it through serendipity.
We stumbled here through serendipity. So I hope that
to
you
take serendipity as a replacement for fortune. So
yes.
we stumbled
yes,
into it through
serendipity.
fortune, through serendipity.
Through serendipity. It's very nice word. Now this is the way. So once you are just listening in the context, that's why listening into context, how other people are using firstly. Now then how you can use this word in your real life. You can just go with the sentences. I always give students to make your 3 sentences rather than learning the meaning, because how we have learned in English vocabulary in our school days. We have long list and we are starting memorizing, and that is
Nobody
not
remembers, and we got that in exams also, those words. Still
And
we
the
don't
main thing is
remember.
that you will never able to use it. Never able to use it. So that's why very important. You must have into sentences, and you need to practice those sentences in your real life situation, and make sure that you start using it instantly. Start using it instantly rather than just waiting to that. Once you will get opportunity, then you will only you will able to use it. So this is very nice website, Yoglish. So this is the way you will
This
also
is
learn the
yours?
pronunciation.
Or
No, it's not my year. It's an international website, and
I
yes.
thought maybe.
So most important thing is that this website is giving you context, international, how people are using. You will learn pronunciation, sentence formation in that context. So you will learn a lot. This is amazing website for learning pronunciation and English. Yes, anything else you want to, we can discuss.
I think we have run the course of this conversation. It's already 30 minutes. Right.
Yes, 25. Okay. Okay, for today we are closing here. And yes, we can join more sessions.
Yes, you have got my contact number now.
Yes.
Skype in anyhow, it's going to be closed. It's going to be moved to Teams, so we can contact through there,
Yes, sure.
right?
Okay.
So have a nice day.
Okay, have a nice day. Thank you so much. Same to you.
Thank you for connecting.